Well, Xoli, we will allow the visuals to speak for themselves while we describe what is currently playing out on the N1. As you can see, traffic backed up, a number of police officers, crime scene investigators also combing through this particular scene. We understand that a very dramatic shootout between suspects and police officers played out on this particular stretch of road on the freeway just after 4 o'clock. We understand 2 have been gunned down, another rushed to a nearby hospital for medical treatment. It is believed that police officers were following up on crime intelligence information about alleged extortionists. If you remember, Xoli, just last month alone, we were about 10 kilometers from here where the similar scene played out in Boertesig, where police officers were flagging and chasing down alleged or suspected extortionists. But to talk to us further, I'm joined by Major General Maqashalala from the Western Cape, the Deputy Police Commissioner here. So we see the suspects or suspected extortionist in the background. We understand that another has been taken to hospital. What do we know about this particular scene behind us?
A dedicated team that policies extortion received intelligence that there were people that were collecting at Joe Slovo. So they acted that and followed. They followed the vehicle on N1 where we are standing. They came across the vehicle, the white vehicle that is behind me, which had 3 occupants. When they tried to pull it off the road, then the occupants fired shots at the police. The police also retaliated. Subsequently, 3 of the occupants died on the spot. They've got guns next to them. 1 was rushed to hospital for treatment. And the vehicle that was used by the suspects was hijacked in Pinelands sometime last week. So we have opened the case of inquest, which is going to be probed by IPID. And there is also going to be illegal possession of firearm as well as attempted murder on the police. So as we are standing, those are the charges that we are going to be pursuing.
This is the 3rd one in 2 months, if I'm correct, General. And looking at the radius where all of this is happening, about 10 kilometers from here, the one in Boertesig a couple of weeks ago, and in August in Phoenix, probably less than 8 kilometers from here. What do we know about this area? Is extortion rife or extortion rackets rife in this area?
Yes, the extortion is rife. There's a number of groups or groupings that are collecting in this area. Then we can say this group is related to the one of August, but we are continuing to act on them because we have got intelligence as to what they are doing and why.
Looking at also the firearms that you are recovering from these scenes, what do we know about them?
Some that we have examined, you will find that the numbers are filed off, then it becomes very difficult, but we have sent them to ballistic. So we're hoping that the examination is going to lead us. There might be connection to other cases, but we will look at this one because we don't want to disturb the crime scene investigators.
General, I know that there's a multidisciplinary task team that is tackling extortion in the Western Cape with various spheres of government, including police and local law enforcement. Do we know if this particular intelligence was received from a tip-off on that hotline number that has been distributed by a number of government officials?
Yeah, some people do use the hotline number, but also we have seen recently that people are using other numbers. Like in this case, it was not through their hotline, but we do encourage people to use that number, which is 0800 314444.
General, are you also, following up on intelligence in other areas where extortion is rife, or you zoning in on this particular radius?
We are following. Yesterday, but 1. There are 4 people that were arrested around Khayelitsha for extortion. So we are looking at all other areas.
General, going back to a couple of weeks ago in Boertesig, we understand that a high-caliber firearm, a rifle, was recovered there, linked to a Namibian national. Do we know if any of those suspects that were taken to hospital have appeared in court, have been discharged?
They were discharged from hospital and they've been placed at court. They appeared, so they are currently in detention waiting for the next date.
General, would I be off to say that in cases like this of extortion rackets, many of the times police would not only recover handguns, but also high caliber firearms?
It is correct. We do receive high caliber firearms, like in the Port of Sekwan, there was an AK-47 that was utilized.
Do we know perhaps where they're coming from, or police still looking into that?
We're still looking into that. You'll remember the AK-47 is not a legalized firearm in South Africa, but we are looking as to where they are coming from.
We'll have to leave it there. General Maqashalala there, Deputy Police Commissioner here in the Western Cape, talking to us about this crime scene you see just along N1, a stone throw away from Canal Walk, about 10 kilometers from the previous shootout that we saw with police and suspected extortionist in Boertesig. And we heard from the general that also, that shootout that we saw playing out in Phoenix, a stone throw away from here as well, that they are casting the net wider and closing in on suspected extortionists or extortion rackets in the Western Cape, also indicating that the suspects that were taken to hospital in the previous shootout with police have been released and appearing before courts. And as we know from the general now, that it is indeed three suspects rather, shot dead and one transported to a nearby hospital, currently facing charges at this present moment of possession of firearms and ammunition, including the fact, or rather attempted murder, which will be moved or transferred to IPID for further investigation.